So you know what contour lines are, but can you use them to identify the different terrain features around you? Welcome back to Maps and Mountains 101. This is episode 3, all about reading the terrain with your maps. In the last episode, we got into the basics of how contour lines work. Today, we're using those contour lines to actually pick out different land features, plus learn what all the colors mean on our map, all of which help us to navigate and plan our routes in the backcountry. So let's look at these maps together. Before we get into contours, the colors alone tell us a lot. Green shows us forested terrain. As it shifts to gray or brown, we're getting past the tree line into the alpine. White shows us glacier in higher elevation regions, and blue shows us water, lakes, or streams. Anything black is usually man-made, so trails, roads, and buildings, but those can be different colors depending on the map provider. Now let's zoom into the actual landforms and look at 5 key terrain features. Summits are usually the easiest to spot, since their names are often labeled and there's closed circles right at the top of the peak. The shape of those rings near the summit tells you a lot too. More tightly packed rings means a narrow pointy peak, more spread out rings means more of a mellow, rounded summit. Saddles, sometimes called cols, are the dips between 2 high points. On the map, you can spot a saddle as the lowest point sitting between 2 summits, and it's often the easiest place to cross from one valley into the next. A lot of classic backcountry routes are actually built around finding the right saddle. Ridges connect peaks together, and you'll see them as a V on the contours pointing downhill or away from higher ground. Ridges can be some of the most exciting terrain in the mountains. You're up high, you've got amazing views, and you're usually on drier ground. That said, they can be very technical as well. Valleys and drainages are the opposite, or the low ground between higher terrain. For them, the V on the contours points uphill. Drainages are also where water flows, so creeks and streams usually live in the bottoms. This is good news for water access, but it's worth knowing that a drainage can cliff out, be in thick vegetation, or even get steep quickly, so they're not necessarily the easiest way to go down. And finally, we have spurs, which are the higher land between 2 river valleys or drainages. They look like rounded U-shapes on the map. Another important note here is that paper maps are a snapshot of when they were surveyed, and some could be decades old. As glaciers continue to recede, areas once labeled as glacier could now be bare rock or boulder fields. So with that in mind, a major benefit to using digital maps is that they can give us more recent satellite data to really visualize what's going on in that area. A lot of search and rescue calls in BC trace back to misreading the terrain, like following a drainage that cliffs out or planning your water around the wrong route. So practicing identifying different terrain features on a map and on the trail is one of the most direct ways that we can keep ourselves safe and avoid having to call search and rescue. The BC Search and Rescue Association has a great resource called the Adventure Hub, which is a searchable directory of different trip planning maps and route info for across the province, which we've linked below. In the next episode, we'll be putting all of this knowledge together in the field so you know how to find yourself with just a map and understanding the features around you. Plus, we'll also have some extra tools to help you with your navigation. We'll see you there.